Hi everyone, I'm Kloo. Today I'm joined with my building buddy. Say hello. Hi. Yeah, it's me. So, it's just the other account I use to help film. Kinda lonely. But anyway, so we've continued working on the hub. I've finished building what I want to consider the majority of it. I am going to try and populate all these little houses with villagers, make it a bit more lively. But other than that, we'll probably work on the towers now and finish polishing some of the mechanics I want to implement, and we'll go through them a bit. Right, so hit a couple snags. First off, there's some that can't go in here, and we'll get to that in a bit. But obviously, you can't stack signs, play too much modded. So we've had to go for a different schematic. But these are all the procs that need to be constantly triggered. There's a few other ones that I was hoping to put in here, but I need to hook them up to a timer because they're not the sort of things I want to repeatedly proc. They're more so like a random chance, or every few minutes you get something a little bit special, because they're the more attack focused ones or combat focused ones. So they'll be going on weapons and the offhand slot, and we'll be doing something special during combat, whereas these are just continuous buffs in the form of mainly potion effects. But yeah, so we'll go through a couple of them. Again, we've got feet, chest, and then inventory. So I, F, and C. And essentially inventory is the more rarer and more powerful proc. So you just find an item, and obviously you can just keep it in your inventory indefinitely, and you'll constantly have the proc. Yeah, constantly have the proc. Feet, self-explanatory again. You have to have the item equipped on your feet. So again, we're using a slot, 100 this time, so 102. So if you've got it equipped, you'll get the effect that corresponds to the different tags. And then chest plate, like I said before, goes on the chest plate. Again, you need to have it equipped. I think I'll grab a few items and we'll show some of these. So I've just picked out one boot, one chest, and one inventory. So as you can see, as soon as I have it in my inventory, I gain saturation because it has the well-fed lore tag. And it's going to be very useful. And next we have warding, and on the boots we have descent. If we chuck on the boots, we get slow fall. Isn't that nice? Now the chest plate is even more interesting. So this is 22 blocks high, meaning it's one off killing me. If we hop into survival, jump, got done, equip the boots. Saved by my own creation. Let's try that again. We'll take off the boots. Slow fall's gone. Jump into... Can never work out tab. Jump into survival. So this will not kill me. Take me to half heart. And of course, thanks to my saturation, I can regen almost straight away. We hop back up. And now if we chuck on the chest plate, let's see what happens. So again, when we jumped off before, we went to half a heart. Now we have warding, which grants us permanent absorption. So if we can wait for the chat to clear, you see I've got the 2 yellow hearts. So that's the absorption effect. And it's permanent, so it's constantly resetting. So what this does is it now adds a buffer. So every hit I take will automatically be 2 less. So that's essentially like true armor. Is that what they call it in like D&D or RPGs? So I've got 2 true armor rather than the 3 armor that's on this, which is some sort of percentage base. I don't know the exact calculations, but we've got 2 true armor now. So any damage we take, if it's less than 2, we take nothing. If it's more than 2, we take whatever it is, -2. So I think that's a very, very useful one to have. And of course the other ones are just resistance. I think there's some strength and speed, jump. There's all the different nifty things that sort of make it more customizable. Because then of course, we can hop back into creative grab us an enchanting table. And of course we can enchant it. So now it's got protection 1 and it still has the lore tag. So essentially what I want is I'm not really going to have mobs drop enchanted armor. So there's still that step of you get something new, you can go to your home base, you know, you can fix it up on an anvil, rename it, and of course enchant it and customize it to your own sense. So there's still the need to collect books, work on villages, set up a lot of the infrastructure of a general Minecraft game. But you know, you've got the added effect of my own special creations. So other than that, I think I need to make a horizontal tower. I think that spot right there is probably pretty good. I'm just gonna make it look like one's fallen over. I think that might be a bit interesting. And that way I can tuck the other equipment stuff I want in there and hook up some timers to it, so they don't proc constantly like this, but rather are timed, have a delay, you know, like special weapon effects. I think that'll be cool. And then of course we still have the other 2 towers to build, which I'll probably get onto. Right, so I already hit a snag. Essentially what I want to build, this tower is too small. So to put my coin flip machine in, it's going to essentially take up all the space. And I obviously can't maneuver or plan the command blocks around it. So yeah, gonna have to do something about that. The other issue is also the scale I'm gonna need. So in order to have enough coin flips for all the random events I want, I need at least 16, which means it's gonna be very, very tall. Because to get to 16, I think I need... was it 1 goes into 2, 2 goes into 4, like this, then 4 into 8, and then that would be 16. So I would need at least 14 times 2, so it'd have to be at least 30 blocks high. Yeah, to hit enough patterns. So it would be 3 chains, which is going to make the tower very, very tall. And it might actually be more. It might be like 60. Am I counting that right? I think 60 would be for 32. But 32 might be better, because then we have some room to maneuver around and figure out, you know, a bunch of different events we can put into it. Wonder what it will look like. It might be a bit tall. I'd have to probably make the other 2 towers taller as well, so that they sort of suit. Yeah, definitely gonna be tall, but I think I can make it work. I'll definitely have to add to the other towers. I mean, I have to rebuild this one anyway to make it large enough, so I'll probably end up building both of them a bit bigger, just to make it a bit easier on myself. So I've gone ahead and I've remodeled everything, and this is sort of the height we're looking at and the dimensions of each tower. I think it should be fine in comparison, especially now that the coin flip machine fits inside, and we've got a lot of wiggle room. So I'll go ahead and I'll assemble it. Pretty sure this is the... No, this might not be the right way. Trying to figure out whether it sits inside or outside the first little bump. And I also do want it to make sure it's facing the right way, to make it a bit easier when I do the command blocks, because I did come up with a sort of more compact method to chain them together, just using command blocks to spawn redstone blocks. So it's much easier if they face a certain way, where I can just plus to the X and Z and not have to worry about figuring out negatives or different coordinates. But I think this should be fine. It fits. I've got room for the command blocks. Should be. I might end up having to go up instead of out. Yeah, because that's a bit cramped. I can only fit 3 things. Which way does up trigger? Does it have to go into the up, or does up trigger off the long-standing one? If you get what I mean. So like if you can see what I'm doing, I'm just curious which one it will trigger in this little chain. If I could type. 2, 3, and it should be 4. Yep. So we'll see which one triggers off that first initial chain. Okay, so it doesn't read going into it. It reads off of its bottom. But that should be fine. It means I can just chain like this. Go out all the way, then up, or even on the other one, go up in the middle. That way I can sort of mesh them all together. So it does mean I have to do them one by one so I can get to all the command blocks. Right, so it is the completed tower. And we're just gonna whack on some wool and terracotta to make sure everything's working. So essentially, I'm just gonna make it correspond to each command block so I can tell which command block is working. Because the way I've reworked the coin flip is essentially this bottom layer, it's going to trigger one side and it'll place a redstone block next to the dropper it's corresponding to. So for instance, we've got the white wool on this one, sorry, not that one, this one. So the bottom will trigger each corresponding color. And we're just going to run this to test and make sure that every single command block is working, because it's quite a long chain. So as long as every piece of wool and terracotta gets deleted on the left-hand side here, the ones connected to the droppers, we know each cylinder, so to speak, because it's kind of like an engine, is firing. As you can see, there's a red block still here, because I was testing it, and we did have a few mishaps. So hopefully everything's all good now. Other than that, I'm just going to continue laying each one next to its corresponding dropper. Wish we had more slots. It's fine, we're almost done. Okay, so that's all of them. We'll just clear off our hotbar. Now we can stand back and take a look. So yeah, so each corresponding color is what we want. I've got the command all set up. So now we can turn it on and make sure everything's working. Just make sure the camera's in focus and we can see everything. I think that's about right. We can go a bit closer. There we go. Yep, that should do it. All right. So let's turn it on real quick and then make sure everything disappears. So if you look on the left-hand side, you can see them all disappearing. So that's telling me each one is working. And if any colors were left, I could easily figure out which one needs to be looked at by what color it corresponds to next to the command block with the command chain block. You can see on the right hand side. But it looks like they're all getting deleted, which is very good. So what it's actually doing, it's replacing it with the redstone block and then with air, which triggers the next dropper. And with this giant structure, we can run 32 random events. So each day it will trigger once, because I'll use a daylight sensor. And from that, it'll randomly decide between 1 and 32, and whatever number it is whatever random event for that day. I think we've got just one more to go. Come on. At this point, it's just RNG whether or not it gets deleted. Come on, you can do it. There we go. All right. So that's pretty much it. So we've got this set up now. There's 32 available slots for me to do random events, which I think look quite good. We can actually knock this off. We don't need to run. But yeah, so there's 32 slots for me to fill in with random events, which I think will be quite good. Other than that, I think that's it for now. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. See ya.